Good evening all and welcome to another video on All How That Out. Tonight we're going for a beer from Mikkeller. Which beer is it? It's this one. It is Drink in the Sun. And you'll be surprised how difficult that is actually to say. I'm so tempted to say drinking in the sun, but no, it's Drink in the Sun. And it's an American style wheat beer that weighs in at 0.3% ABV. There's really not a lot I can tell you from the can. It's got the usual ingredients of water, barley malt, wheat malt, hops, and Mickellensis yeast. So you've got typical Mikkeller artwork on the can. You know, you've got the little people there that are omnipresent on all their regular cans, and you've got the artwork there of a person drinking in the sun, quite literally, tanning themselves. It must be related to Marge Simpson, got blue hair. But anywho, it's, yeah, like I say, an American style wheat beer. Let's see what it's all about, shall we? So we're going to pour into my vocation glass, and the pour is really, really pale. I mean, we're talking crazy pale. Let's get a nice head on that. There we go. So it is golden. That's a light golden colour, clear as a bell, and we've got a nice white head. It's actually quite nice, large, and compact and fluffy. So just check out the surge of the bubbles from the nucleation points at the bottom of the glass. That, it looks all right. You know, it's pale. It's like a lager in colour, but yeah, it looks good. We've got a challenge to smell it through the head though. Let's have a whiff. Oh, actually, you know, that smells quite nice. Citrus. A little bit of stone fruit. Interesting. First time I've had those kind of true authentic beer aromas in an alcohol-free. Yeah, that smells really good. Like I say, citrus. Bit of stone fruit. Malt is light, but it smells very, very good. A little bit peachy is the stone fruit I'm getting. So it looks good, smells really interesting. So for taste. Oh my. Oh my indeed. That's nice. So, with a wheat beer I expect big body, and I usually expect a bit of haze. I've got a medium body, but I've got no haze. There are some similar familiar flavours, that slightly bready flavour, but it's really citric and sugary sweet, but not that horrible sugary sweet malt that I particularly dislike. That's really rather good. Let's say the stone fruit flavours come through a little bit, not in a big way. The citrus is kind of there, but again, it's in the background. It works really nicely on the nose. It kind of tricks you into thinking you're going to get a lot of that. And it's there, it's a hint. But there is a pleasant bitterness coming through. And it's not huge, it's really quite subtle, but it is coming through sort of towards the back end, and it's a nice hoppy bitterness. That is really rather good. I could sit and drink quite a lot of that. In the sun, not worrying about getting a sore head or anything like that. Really refreshing, really wholesome, well-rounded, authentic tasting beer. And that's the point, you know, it tastes authentic. Mikkeller have got a habit of making really nice beers. I know this isn't alcohol-free, but some of their bigger alcohol-containing beers have been absolutely superb. It's reminiscent in a way of a beer that they did. It's called No Cow on the Ice. It's a regular IPA. There's similar things going on in here that I found in that. And the clean, crisp taste of a Pilsner that they did. I can't remember the exact names. Now I've got Pils or something like that. That clean, crisp, refreshing, grassy nature. It's a combination of two very nice beers that they do. Or did. I don't know if they still do them. But yeah, the sweet tropical goodness of the No Cow on the Ice with the clean crisp taste of the Pilsner. So yeah, it's not a wheat beer as I know it, but it's nice. Very, very nice. So before I drink it all, we're going to go to some scoreboards. First of all, the Aid Memoir from Untapped for Drinking in the Sun shows 27,000 check-ins, which is a lot. It's a lot of check-ins. And it's got a really good average score of 3.25, which, let's be honest, for most beers on Untapped, they can only hope for good scores like that. But for an alcohol-free beer to have a score of that sort of size is pretty much unheard of. So my scoreboard of joy, what we're going to give it. So looks-wise, like I say, okay, the head has dissipated. It did have a really nice looking head on it at the beginning. So points there. The only thing that kind of detracts from it for me is it's a little bit pale. It's not quite what I'd expect for a wheat beer. They have that element of haze. You look at like your Erdingers and your Franziskaner alcohol frees. They still have haze. It's otherwise a really good looking beer. You know, a little bit of haze, a little bit of colour, it'd be perfect. Otherwise, it's still very good. I'm going to give it the 0.75. Aroma really did surprise me. I did not expect the aromas to come off of this. Like I say, peachy stone fruit, a little bit of citrus, a well-rounded tropical aroma on a wheat beer. I did not expect it at all. It's really pleasant. It's not got the big yeastiness and the breadiness that I expect on a wheat beer, but, you know, it's excellent smelling nonetheless. I'm going to go so far and say that's a really, really, really good one. I'm going to give it the full point on the aroma. Body, again, for a wheat style beer, and we'll qualify it there again, I expect a bigger body. It's lighter than medium, whereas most wheat beers that I've had are more medium to medium heavy. This is a little bit lighter than that. It's still really quite good though. It's a lovely clean mouthfeel. Got a little bit of effervescence coming through. It just works quite well. Just could be heavier. So I'm going to give it the 0.5 on that. Because like I say, I really do appreciate the big bodies on a wheat beer. As for the flavours, because that's where it's all won and lost, I find, in beers. It's really, really good. It's got a little bit of that malty, yeasty breadiness on the flavour. It's got a little bit of that kicking in the background. But what it really brings to the party that I really enjoy is that tropical flavour. A little bit of citrus, a little bit of that peachy stone fruit just mingling in with that malty, bready, yeasty goodness. And it just works. You know, they're warm flavours. It's just a joy to drink. I can't fault the flavour at all. I love it. It's going to get the full point from me. As for the finish, again, on a wheat beer, and this isn't a wheat beer as you know it, I look for smooth, malty, yeasty finishes. On this one, I get that pleasant little bit of bitterness in the background that comes from the hops. It's a really welcome addition. It's not traditional wheat beer at all. It's an American style, as it says on the can. So I'm not going to score it quite the same. I would, if it was a regular wheat beer, I might be knocking the points off. But this is something different. I enjoy it a lot. Is it perfect? No, it's a little too sweet for my liking. I'd like a little bit more of a savoury edge to it, but it's still really rather good. I'm going to give it the 0.75, which if I use my little bit of quick maths, that's 1, 2, 3.5, 4 out of 5 on the old Untapped scoreboard of joy. So that is definitely one I'm going to be buying again. It's a Sainsbury's Tipple, Drinking in the Sun from Mikkeller. It's really rather good. If you haven't tried it, I do suggest you do. It's rather delicious. So I'm going to say, leave it there and say, that has been the beer. Those down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish. I'm going to go drink the rest of this lovely beer and get it uploaded for your viewing pleasure. On that note, I'll catch you soon. Bye.